One day, the Johnson family moved from the village to the city. It was a lot of stress for them. Everything seemed noisy, and there were too many people. They bought an apartment where Mr. Cole, his wife, and 10-year-old Dave lived. He was in the 3rd grade. Of course, at such a young age, changing schools because of moving is stressful, but the boy quickly got used to it, made new friends who helped him get used to the class. Dave's dad always dropped him off at school when he went to work. The boy liked the new class teacher as well as his dad. Although he saw her only once, she seemed like a nice woman to him. Every time Dave came home from school happy, he was given homework the next day. Although his parents were not supporters of giving homework since they considered it an outdated approach, but this task seemed easy to them, and it took no more than half an hour to complete it. The task was just to answer some question. Often, these questions were simple. For example, why do you prefer to play video games on the computer than on the phone? Dave always had easy answers to such tasks. He was a sociable boy with a good sense of humor. However, at some point, Dave came home after school and immediately went to his room, locked himself in it, and sat completely alone. Mr. Cole and Ms. Lucy were very worried about this behavior of their son. It was not typical for him, but when they tried to find out the reason for this behavior, as is typical for children, they received the answer that everything was fine. This behavior continued for several days. Mr. Cole asked his son at dinner what he was assigned for tomorrow. He answered that nothing. It was strange, because all 3 weeks before that, there was homework. After dinner, Dave went to his room, locked himself in, and fell asleep right on his notebook, where he tried to hide his homework. But why is he hiding it? The parents thought. And while he was sleeping quietly, they took the notebook and read the assignment. There was a question: would you miss your parents very much if you left them forever? But remember that others can love you too. Mr. Cole and Ms. Lucy were very worried about this question because it sounded absurd for a 10-year-old child, and Mr. Cole decided that he would talk to his son's class teacher the next day. In the morning, as planned, they went to school together. Only Mr. Cole did not leave Dave near the school as usual, but went with him. They went into the office where Dave's teacher was sitting all alone. They specially left early to talk alone. Mr. Cole said that he did not understand such questions and asked to explain why they were for a 10-year-old child. The teacher replied that such questions broadened one's horizons. But what kind of horizons could such a question broaden if Dave was only 10? A constructive conversation never took place. Other children began to come to the class, and Mr. Cole went to work. The situation did not change in the evening. Dave also locked himself in his room alone. This time, Ms. Lucy offered to talk to him. Maybe her conversation would help Dave. After that, the family went to bed. But in the morning, Mr. Cole noticed that something was wrong with his wife and son. They did not look like themselves. Their faces were so unhappy, as if something had happened, although nothing had happened. Mr. Cole went to work, but when he came from there for dinner, nothing had changed. Everyone was still sitting unhappy and offended. The family went to bed without any conversation. The next day, Mr. Cole looked at his son's homework again, and it was, into which artery should the game be injected to make a person lose consciousness? Before he could finish reading the assignment, he felt a needle in his neck. Turning around, the last thing he saw was Dave with a needle, and his wife next to him.